Good morning. Good morning, y'all. Good morning. It's your girl, Kishshana. Okay, y'all. Good morning. As everybody comes into the room, I want to just welcome my folks who are going to be following along on Instagram. I want to shout out to Facebook. I think I have both my business page and my personal page today, and I hardly ever have my personal page up. So welcome in. I hope y'all got y'all coffee. For those of you all who celebrate Thanksgiving tomorrow, hopefully today's the last day. Y'all are scurrying to get your meetings and your emails checked, and you hope nobody responds so you can get out of the office. So just spend a little bit of time with me this morning. Because today, y'all, we are going to be talking about vision for 2024 for my leaders, my people leaders, my CEOs, folks who write the checks, and folks who are in charge. And if you are aspiring to the C-suite, this is the place for you. I mean, plus just my glasses are fly. So if you just want to hang out with me. So if y'all see me look over here left, that's because I have my phone here on Instagram and I'm looking straight ahead at my camera. Y'all, I'm saying good morning from my mama's house in New York City. I came home to spend some time with my family, and the Queenager is just about home from her first semester of college. I don't know what's going on with these institutions, y'all, but why do the young people have to go home for Thanksgiving break? And then they got to circle back from Thanksgiving break and go take finals and come back. What happened to just making it so that the parents don't have to spend an arm, a leg, and two baby toes on travel? Okay, the babies have been eating out the cafeteria and Chick-fil-A as it is. And so I'm glad that she's home. My child has slept, I promise y'all, for like 15, 16 hours at least. I don't know what kind of labor she has been doing that she needs to sleep for that long, but she's not in the street yet. And I'm just happy to spend time with her and see my brother and my family. And so it's just going to be a good time. So for those of you all who this time of year is a wonderful time of year for you, then I hope you have the opportunity to celebrate that with those you love, whether it's your blood family or your chosen family. And for those of y'all that this is a hard time of year, I hope that you do something kind for yourself, that you take an opportunity to really take care of yourself, to love on yourself so that you can move through this particular season. Okay, so one of my dear friends, and I see one of my dearest friends from Jack. Listen, we have a mastermind. We have named ourselves Jack. Okay, and so one of my mastermind members and dear friends, Chanel Ducan, wrote a book called Life Starts Now. And one of the things that she is a master at is vision setting and vision boarding and bringing what you have out here into view so that you can actually execute against your life vision for the new year. And it really stuck with me because I had the Rooted Collaborative, which was the community I run for women of color in the social sector. Ran that for about 5 years, and we're on hiatus right now, y'all, for the comeback in 2024. But one of the things we did when we read that book was really try to understand what does it mean to like where you're at, not compete with the Joneses, not to be out there and so focused on what's out there that you can't focus on yourself here. And I've been seeing that as a trend for many of my contemporaries who are wonderful thought leaders across all manner of industries, whether it's my friend Julie, who's talking about health, whether it is my friend Joy, who's talking about faith and strategy. Doesn't matter who it is, my friend Vu, who's talking about upending the whole ass social sector and everything in between. We all are trying to get folks to get out of your head, to get out of the DIY mode, and to really lock in to what does it mean to actually have an actionable strategy for your life, for those of us who are professionals, for your career, and for those of us who are entrepreneurs, business owners, for your business. And it seems like a daunting task. And the reason it seems like a daunting task is because I think that people just expect us at our big age to know what we're doing. If that's you, drop a "it's me" in the chat. Drop a "it's me" in the chat. People just expect you to know what you're doing. And if you are the one in your family who was the first to get out, then not only do people expect you to know what you're doing, they also expect you to help them too. It doesn't mean that they're going to put in action anything you help them with, but there is an expectation that you are going to be the one who is maybe the family bank, or maybe you're the one who always shows up for everybody for all the health issues, or maybe you're the one who has 37,245 nieces, nephews, and baby cousins. but there's a lot tugging on you. And so if you have found yourself saying, I will get to it tomorrow, I'm gonna get to it tomorrow, I'm gonna get to it tomorrow, then friends, hang out with me for a few minutes because we are in this together. And I have some lessons I want to kind of bring forward and just some things I want you to be thinking about as you get ready for many of us to kind of rest a little bit going into the new year. And for some of us, we're about to like get it popping. Okay. I don't want you to wait until 2024 for your life to begin. As my girl Chanel says, life starts now. So let's talk about now. So my entire career, probably up until about 5 years ago, y'all, I had this thing that ran in the back of my head. Faith it till you make it, not fake it till you make it, but faith it till you make it. And I was comfortable building the plane while I flew it. I didn't really have to know where I was going. I didn't really have to know what tools I needed to make it happen. I didn't really need to be aware of what I actually like step by step had to accomplish to get to an outcome. Because I am so outcome driven, all that mattered to me was the destination. The only thing that did not make me a charlatan in these streets is good home training. Okay? Because Gemini and me can manipulate all the people. But my good home training and my good ethics and my integrity kept me above board and not trying to cut corners, not trying to cut people off at the knees, not trying to do people dirty in order to get ahead. But y'all, I was winging it, just figuring it out. Even when I started Kishshana & Co., now ManageMint, y'all, I just was trying to pay the rent and make sure that the Queenager got to keep her private lessons for swimming. Okay. I didn't really have this master plan. I didn't have a big solution I was trying to solve for. I wasn't trying to save the world. None of that was on my mind. I was like, this good rent for this really expensive loft that I had found myself in. We're going to talk about that in a second, y'all. I stay on caviar, even when there's only tuna fish. I needed to get this thing done. And so my question was, how do I get this done? It wasn't like, why is this the thing I need to get done? What will doing this actually kind of like make space for? What's the opportunity cost of not doing a damn thing? Why didn't I just go get another job? There was something in me at that time that said, nah, Kish, just go. And so if you have that in your spirit right now, the just go, particularly as we are now what I would consider to be pandemic forward, many of us during the pandemic started to realize that you have to find a way or make one. And you have to figure out how you're going to get some stuff done. And so there was a heightened degree of self-reliance and self-confidence like we haven't seen ever before. Also, we had to literally iterate and innovate at a time where resources were strapped and where we really weren't clear on what the actual outcome was going to be. We just know we needed to try new things and figure it out. So if you are the most creative you've been in a long time, if you have tried new things like you never did in that time period, if you were like, to hell with it, I'm going to do fill in the blank. My joint was, I'm a traveler regardless. And so put on my mask, lotion my hands, do all the things, every safety precaution, but I'm out. Whatever the thing is that you decided to risk and do, you probably did it because you didn't know when there was going to be an end in sight. And so your idea was kind of like, look, like life is short. I'm going to just get it done. And if that was your mentality, it's actually really hard to let go of that survival posture, even when things have returned, I'm gonna put this in air quotes, y'all, to normal. And as we all know, ain't a darn thing normal. So many of us changed jobs. We moved to other parts of the country. We bought homes. We sold homes. We downsized. We tiny homed. We backpacked. We took the kids and we homeschooled. We tried new things. We were baking all type of banana bread and everything else, y'all. Okay, we were doing all the things without a clear plan on how do I navigate what might be next when I'm not clear on what's next. And so as I work with CEOs, executive leaders, VPs and directors and so forth, and as I talk to young professionals who are trying to figure out their way, folks are like, I don't really know where to start and where to stop. Like, I feel like I'm just a will o' the wisp. I'm just blowing to and fro. And yet there's a lot, and particularly y'all in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, there's going to be about 1,375 ads on vision boards, on strategy, on reset, on word of the year, on, start your career here. We're going to see job boards start to increase their ads. We're not just spending money, but literally we're going to see the diet industry, which is the devil, half the time, start to tell you that you're not good enough and you got to start today. And today is an emergency and get it done. And many of us are going to go. And so before you start pulling out your paper and your scissors and the glue, or pulling out your stylus if you're going to do it digitally, to start thinking about vision, I want you to be able to take a moment and assess the last 2 or 3 times that you flew by the seat of your pants. What was happening at that time? What resources, and that's for time, talent, and treasure, did you have at your disposal? What were some of the roadblocks that you encountered that you either throw them both and you knock them over, or that made you pause? And then what was the intended outcome? Now, if those questions are a lot, I know when it's live, when the replay is up, just roll it back to minutes 10 to 12:20. Like, I need y'all to think about that, because before we start designing, before we start getting the word and the vision, and before we do any of that stuff, we've got to take a moment to quiet ourselves, to assess where we're at. And y'all, you see how my finger is pointing here? Y'all know when you point your finger, you point your thumb back to yourself. So I am doing this alongside you. I get teased all the time, my friends, that I'm a busybody. Okay. Like my mama would tell you, Mama Dawn will say that I came out the womb like this, like ready to go. And life has lifed in such a way that it has kept me, like I've had my own personal Kishshana on the run tour. So it is actually really hard for me to still myself enough to allow the creative expressions, ideas, things that are bubbling up in me to settle, so that I can organize them and then I can execute against them. One of my strengths is futuristic, y'all. And so that means I can see what's going on out there. Like, there is for me. Like, you may not see the vision, but I can see the vision. So if you're the kind of person that's like, I can see the vision, but other people don't get my vision, drop "it's me" in the chat, because listen, I'm with you. I also have activator as one of my strengths. And for me, that shows up like, get it done. Let's go. So I don't have a plan for my workout plan. That's fine. I start tomorrow. So I don't have a plan on how I'm going to be able to do this travel trip in January, because I have to fly 14,000 miles, y'all, between now and December 31st, so that I can keep my diamond medallion status on Delta. Somebody tell somebody at Delta I just need it. I fly. I heard that. Not thinking about the steps that are necessary. I'm thinking about the outcome. So I too have to slow down a little bit and kind of pause, so that I'm able to go, okay, what actually is working? Why is it working? What's not working as well? And why is it not working as well? And who do I need to involve in the conversation, so I can get good feedback, so I can get some input, so I can observe, so that I can then move forward? So the find a way or make one, the build the plane while flying it, just get it how you live it. All of that is very short-term thinking. And if you put that into action, it is devoid of planning. And I don't know about y'all, but the way my body is set up these days at this big age, I can't run myself into the ground the way I used to. I used to be able to go 14, 15, 16-hour days working, plus being a mom, have the queen edge at all her activities, go see my family. I'm at the sorority events. I'm volunteering. I'm on a board. Y'all. And I would not miss a beat. And little by little, my body started to be like, sit down. Like, what you doing? And so now, even though in my mind, I have the desire to do all of those things, I honestly don't have the energy to execute it. So I can't fly by the seat of my pants anymore. Now I got to slow up and I have to plan. So what does that mean for you in your life in this moment? Planning does not have to be elaborate. And when I work with my executive leaders on their strategy, They're like, oh, we need this strategy and that strategy. And I need y'all all to pause. I want you to think about, y'all know we have the Kishshana isms, lots of redefined words to make it simpler for your mind when you're hungry and you're tired. I want you to think about strategy like your North Star. Directionally, where are you trying to go? And what are you trying to do? And if you're not able to define that, I'm going to need you to pause because you're not in the strategic yet. You might have to go back up to the visioning. What does success look like? If the answer was always yes, if there were no roadblocks before you, and y'all, this is in your personal life, this is in your business life, this is in your professional life, and for those of us who are pursuing our master's, PhDs, etc., this is in your academic life. If the answer was yes, if there were no roadblocks before you, what does success look like? And then the question I want you to ask yourself after you kind of noodle it out, because your body's going to resist. Oh, I don't know, because, the 5 and the 9 and the carry the 1. And, then I got to take the kids and I got to, and then the husband and then the wife. And then, I'm trying to fight the system. And then there are so many things, y'all, that get in the way of us being able to imagine what real success looks like for us, because we immediately insert constraints. Me too. So I got to dig back, right? I got to roll it back and go, okay, if the answer is yes, and I get all the resources I need, then what does success look like? I am always amazed at what comes from my mind and my heart when I do that. So then the next question I got to ask, because I got to live in reality, y'all. I'm a big optimist, but I got to live in reality. What would need to be true for that to happen? That's your opportunity to say, in order for this big thing to be true, this would need to be in place. This type of person would need to be on board. This thing would have to end. This thing might have to begin. And again, y'all, do that in your personal life, and I promise you it will show up in your business life. I'll give you a real-time example. I have always been living la vida loca, okay? There's more money to be made. Before I knew the term abundant lifestyle, I was out here living abundantly, okay? And so the idea that I can't just do more never really occurred to me. So now I have been living in the consequences of more is more. It's not going to change who I am as a person. I'm always going to be a maximalist. I'm always going to do the most. Like, that's what gives me a lot of joy. But what it means is I can't be frivolous because I think I can do more and I can earn more, right? I have to be able to plan appropriately so that I have space to play and space for purpose. And so what is the thing that has been your Achilles heel that gets in the way of the question, what would need to be true in order for me to see this level of success? Y'all, that starts your map to your real strategy, because it's going to reveal different pathways that you could potentially take in order to get to that outcome. But my friends, you can't take all the pathways, okay? I have been dreaming about an OnlyFans page for like 5 years. That's 5 years of lost income for my beautiful feet and my fly shoes. Okay, I just want you to know. I think about it all the time. I want to quit my business every 6 weeks, okay? That is the life of a multi-hyphenate entrepreneur. You just want to quit. But I got to stay focused, because there's an opportunity cost in me living in that space as a play space. And there is an opportunity cost of me not living in my purpose space. So as you think about your strategy, you got to think about, with the particular avenues that I can take in order to be able to get to that outcome, which one really aligns with my purpose? That to me is such a critical component. So it doesn't matter if you're a creative, you're an artist. I have a lot of friends in my life who are artists, who are visual artists, multimedia artists, who are singers, whose instruments just do all of the things. It's wonderful to live in your art. But if you are planning to have a sustainable life from that, it's going to require some resources. So what is your plan in order to be able to do that? And what is the strategy that you need to take? Remember, y'all, that one lane in order to be able to achieve that level of fulfillment and that sustainability. Thriving is not outside of our grasp, but it is outside of our grasp if we do not have a clear strategy in order to get there that aligns to our vision. The problem is a lot of us don't know how to do strategy work. There's a lot of strategists out there. What does that even mean? There are folks who will tell you they're going to give you a strategy. Is that a piece of paper? Is that a framework? Or does it a set of ideas? Are they just questions I'm planning to ask you multiple times and you go figure it out? So I decided to share the strategy system that I use to get myself in gear when I'm going to do a new thing. This is not marketing, because even though I got a whole MBA with a marketing concentration, y'all, some days I'll be struggling with it. So I'm paying the other people to help me with marketing. What this is clarity of your roadmap that is going to be easy for you to execute and go back to because you had your own hands in it. And as you bring along folks to support you, so whether that's your team, if you're in a corporate or nonprofit environment, whether that's your team or contractors, if you're in a solo entrepreneur or small business context, or it's your creative partners, if you are a solo flyer, this is going to allow you to be able to go, now what did I say I was going to do again? So when I was a professional fundraiser, it used to tickle me that board members all the time, no matter what organization I was in, y'all, would want to do a golf tournament. No shade to the golf tournaments themselves, but golf tournaments are a suck on every professional fundraiser's life and time. Number one, it is really hard to make money. It's like 75 cents on the dollar in terms of expenses, unless every single thing is sponsored. And then the nickel and dime gifts you got to get for the holes and the this and the that to give to people to help them feel good about being there. The staff time you spend alone is not worth the money that you might potentially raise. All my event planners dispute me in the chat, okay? But I've done about 10 and I hated them all. Now, as a strategy to the person who feels that that's going to be a fun idea, but as the person who's going to have to execute that idea, it is a nightmare. So now let me bring what I'm talking about back into your team. The folks, I see the chat. Cuz said they are so much. Everyone hates them. I just want you to know, I wish they would go away. I know the golf courses have to live a life, so don't hate me. Don't hate me for it. All my golf players, but y'all, there are better ways to get to the end. So let's bring it back to the better ways to get to the end with your team. Your team is looking at you for direction. Sometimes your team is looking at you for the side eye and with the side eye because they want to know what you're going to do next because you have been leading them to and fro. I have been guilty of it, and my team now finally they know how to gather me back to the plan that I'd actually designed. So when I get all over the place, y'all, and I want to go do this thing, they're like, ma'am, is this in our strategy for the year? Is this going to help our strategy for the year? But no. So you need to first have a plan in place that your team has a level of ownership around, co-ownership, so that they are invested in ensuring that you get to the end. But because many of us are afraid to say, I don't actually really know how to create a plan, or I have all these ideas and I'm stuck, or I have so many competing priorities, I don't even know where to start. Then we just don't. Back to flying by the seat of our pants. And then we resent our team members when they can't figure it out. Am I talking to somebody on here? Did I say ouch if that's the case? I might be talking to somebody on here. If it's in a replay, put replay and then say ouch. So what I decided to do was create a 3-part workshop, real simple and easy because we're in the holiday season. Y'all got lots of things to do. Last night alone, I think I got targeted by 36. I stopped counting after that. 36 boutique type stores for the fly clothes I love, but I will not be buying. And y'all, of the 36, 19 of them had the exact same items. Clearly, I got to run over to Temu or AliExpress because I'm in the wrong business. However, with all of the distractions that are happening around us, the reality is you're going to roll up in the new year with your vision and your word of the year and no plan. You're going to be stressed. And then you're going to feel like you're off to the races again. And I just want to get us off of that treadmill, myself included. So earlier this year, I offered an intensive for business owners called Ready, Set, Implement. I ran it twice. I had about 9 people across the 2 sessions that I did. And we spent half a day, almost a whole day, working through strategy, team planning, operations. What are the questions you need to be asking and answering in order to be able to have a strategy you can get behind? When you work with contractors, when you work with vendors, when you work with in-house team members, as you transition, what needs to be true in order for that to be successful? And I realized pretty quickly that entrepreneurs aren't the only folks who need that level of like step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. And so then I tested it with a small group of professional fundraisers. Blew the roof off the thing, because the idea that how you earn revenue, how you bring in gifts, how you secure funding, how you think of investment really has to align around the resources you have, which are your time, your talent, and the treasure. So you need to be able to understand how to do this. Now, if you are not a people manager just yet, but you have your eye on that spot, then this is the perfect opportunity for you to walk alongside me and learn how to do that. So how are we going to do this, y'all? So Giving Tuesday, for those of y'all who, all my donors, because if you don't work in the social sector, you need to be giving to an organization. Hello? Okay. A 501c3 that is doing the darn thing. And so for those of y'all, right after Giving Tuesday, because I got my 5 organizations, my company already is a donor too, and then we do a little boost during Giving Tuesday ourselves. So the day after, I decided, all right, y'all, take a little breath and have lunch with me. And when you have lunch with me, you are going to be learning alongside me 90 minutes on what actually strategy is. For real, for real. Not the fancy stuff, not the flu academic stuff, but how do regular everyday leaders put a strategy in place? So in our first class together, first workshop together, you're going to learn that. Then the next week, we're going to come back again for lunch, and you're going to learn how to actually design a plan within a framework that actually makes sense to you. So you're going to be bringing your real deal Holyfield 2024 questions, challenges, and opportunities, and we're going to work through it together. Then on the third go round, we're going to say, now, how do you involve the people in the planning? Your team, vendors, contractors, partners, community partners, investors, you name it. How do you enroll folks into your strategy and the activities and the tactics that need to be true in order to be able to execute with ease? And then for those of y'all who raise capital, whether you raise money for nonprofit organizations, or you're raising venture capital if you're in tech, or if you're in the for-profit and you're looking to raise money, I have a 4th bonus class where we're going to walk through how to leverage AI and other tech tools to be able to bolster and activate and amplify your ability to bring in revenue. Y'all, it's a monster. But how do I do it in that short amount of time? I would like to say, because I'm just nasty with it, I am. I check my post where I helped a client in 3 hours redesign their entire team plan, memo and deck for the board, all the things. Like, I'm good at what I do. That's not what makes this dope. What makes this dope is that in addition to walking also alongside me, because doing this with me one-on-one is a much higher investment, you get to have folks who are in the water with you right before you go into the new year. Because one of the things I'm going to teach you how to do is build your kitchen cabinet as you're building your thing. And so Ready, Set, Implement is, I got a vision, I got to figure out the strategy, I got to activate it, let's go. And so if that is something that is interesting to you, for my friends on Instagram, I'm going to put this in the chat in a second. It's ManageMint.co, so MINT, it's my company name, /Ready, Set, Implement. And you'll be able to see that right when you go to our website and look at what we offer. It's right there, but I'll drop a shortcut there for you. For those of y'all who on all of my other mediums, you can see this across your screen right now. It is $497 for the 3 sessions. And y'all, I mean, normally when I do this one-on-one, it is minimally at least $5,000 to work with me one-on-one to do this one task. And so this is an opportunity for a fraction of that going into the holidays so that you could keep your red bottom budget and also 10x your revenue budget for the next year. And do that with a lot of joy, a lot of fun, and much, much clarity and focus. If you still fooling around and you still doing some play, don't buy this because it's live. And if you buy the replay, you're not going to finish. I think only 27% of people who start courses actually finish the course. It's not a course. It is literally lunch and learn with Kish over 3 weeks. Get your sandwiches and your salads and your burritos and all the good things. And we're going to knock this out. You'll have a digital workbook that you'll be able to work alongside me. And if you are not a people manager just yet, you'll be able to figure out how to apply this to a creative pursuit, to some personal goals you want in your life, whether that's buying your first home, moving out of your parents' house, redesigning your whole life because you want to leave your industry and pivot to another. These are applicable tools to be able to do just that. And I'm excited to be able to do that. And so if you're like, Kishshana, I don't know if I want to do that now because the holidays, but I do want you to come into my team and help my managers do that, help my leaders do that. We need some help in figuring it out. Then go to ManageMint.co/services, and you'll be able to connect with one of my team members so that we can get you started. I am so fortunate, y'all, to have some of the dopest coaches, consultants, and trainers as a part of the ManageMint crew. I also have an amazing network of other business owners who do similar work for different industries that I can connect you to. So the point and the bottom line is I got you covered. If you're like, Kish, okay, so I know you're a coach and all that good stuff. So, but what about you and working with you on coaching? Then go to KishshanaPalmer.com and click get started, and you'll be able to book some time with me, either for a shot of vitamin K, which is a short coaching session, just like a targeted, focused conversation around it, and an advising session, or talk to me about longer sessions for my 6 to 12 months packaging for coaching for leaders. All right, y'all. I think I'm gonna have to go hang out with the Queenager. My mama is shopping for Thanksgiving. Y'all, we are a whole Jamaican family, so we have an oxtail tomorrow. Breakfast in the morning is going to be ackee and saltfish, fried dumpling, bammy. I think my mother says she has breadfruit. We might have some kalaloo, and that's just breakfast. And then for dinner, I think we're doing, what are we doing? We're doing oxtail, rice and peas. We're doing baked Cornish hens. We're doing mac and cheese. I'm making one of my little fancy seafood dishes that I like to make every year. There's going to be some sweet potato salad. If you haven't had my mother's sweet potato and arugula salad, y'all, I'm going to post it tomorrow just for that. But I want you to have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful rest of your week. I'm probably going to jump on again just to talk to folks because I'm already seeing questions pinging up in my DM about how we do Ready, Set, Implement. But I want y'all to invest in yourself. $497. For some of us, you're like, girl. So there's a payment plan for there. For others, you're like, okay, let me go on ahead and do it. Because you done wasted about $7,932 doing some foolishness this year. And you haven't gotten what you need to get done. And my goal is to make sure that you have the vision, you have the strategy, you have the actionable plan, and the people resources you need to do it with ease coming into the new year. So thank y'all so much for hanging out with me for the last 30 minutes. This has been Kishshana Palmer for another quick shot of vitamin K, focusing on your living vision board for people managers through Ready, Set, Implement. All right, y'all.